Hiya friends, we have a Southern pecan pie today. This is my mother-in-law's recipe. I have to make it every Christmas, you guys. I think if I didn't, I'd probably get coal in my stocking. Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Tabby. Let's get cooking. All right, friends, let's get this Southern pecan pie put together. Now, this was Dale's mom's recipe, so I know there are 1,000,001 ways to make pecan pie. This is our favorite, and so this is the one I stick with. So I have 3 eggs, and you have to beat them really well. You want to really mix those up really good before you put them in. So I've got those beaten up really well using my little Cinderella patterned Pyrex bowl here. So that's going in. Now this is just a dump, stir, and then bake. It's a super easy recipe, but I think it's the very best. All right, now we're gonna add 1 cup of granulated sugar. That's going in. Now I'm gonna push this up to 1/2 a cup because we need 1/2 cup of light Karo syrup. You could probably use the dark Karo, but the recipe calls for the light Karo, so I've never deviated from that. That is what I use. So we're gonna go 1/2 cup right there. Love this measuring cup. Love it. I'm telling you, I've had this cup for years and years, and I love it for anything sticky like that. Peanut butter, mayonnaise, Karo syrup, all the things like that. It's great. All right, then we're going to add in, make sure I'm saying the right thing. It's a 1/4 cup, so it's about 4 tablespoons of melted butter. All right, 1/4 cup melted butter going in. All right, and then we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And of course, I'm gonna measure with my heart because I don't think you can have too much vanilla. That might have been more like a tablespoon. No, it wasn't a tablespoon. It might have been a teaspoon and a half. All right, now I'm gonna give this a good mix. I wanna get all of that sugar and Karo syrup, all of that egg. I want everything combined really well before we take it to the next step. We just have the 1 more ingredient, and I think you can probably guess what that's gonna be. And I told you on a live video recently how I do my pie crust. So Dale likes a really thick pie crust. So I get 2 frozen pie crusts. I let them thaw, and then I dump them out of the pans, lay one on top of the other, roll them out, press them together, and then I put it back in the pie pan. So you can tell that's a really nice thick crust around there. So it's a nice amount of crust on that pie. I think that looks good. Now, for the pecans, it calls for 1 cup. You can use just regular pecans. You can use chopped pecans, whole pecans, you know, like whole pecan halves. Totally up to you. But what I do recommend is that you use the roasted and salted pecans rather than the plain pecans. I think when you add this roasted and salted with that sweetness from the filling, oh my gosh, it just takes it to a whole nother level. So this is a 7-ounce bag. I just used the whole bag. So it might be just a little bit more than 1 cup. And I am going to keep just a couple out. Almost forgot. I keep a couple out just for the top of it to make it look pretty. Here we go. All right, so all of that good salty goodness in the bottom of that goes in there as well. And we're just gonna give that a quick mix. You can see that. It's nice and thick. Oh gosh, that smells good. Doesn't get any easier than this, folks. I do have my oven preheated to 375. Let me get that, there we go. So let's pour this in here. And you want to just kind of give it a little bit of a mix there to make sure those pecans are evenly distributed. And then of course you want to get all the goodness out. You don't want to leave any of this goodness in here. And this is a deep dish pie crust also. And then I like to take these little halves and just do a little right on the top. Just like that. All right, I'm gonna bring you over here so you can see it a little bit closer. Hang on. So there it is. You can see I just did like a little cross right there on the top. Isn't that beautiful? All right, now I took your all's advice, just like you suggested, and I'm putting it on my baking sheet before I put it in the oven. So let's get this in the oven. And Mary, I'm watching it so I don't spill it. Miss Mary, I kept my eye on it so I didn't spill it. All right, let me set my timer. It's got to bake 40 to 45 minutes, so I've set my timer for 40. We'll start checking it then. If it looks like the crust is getting too brown, you can take some aluminum foil and just cover that edge of the crust, and it'll protect it so it doesn't get too brown. But I don't usually have that problem, but all ovens are different, so just kind of keep an eye on it and make sure. And when it's ready to take out, I'll come back and I'll show it to you. We won't be able to take a bite because it's for our family dinner tomorrow, but I'll get to show it to you. I'll be right back. About a half a second for you, about 45 minutes for me. Hang tight. Pie is done. There it is. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that brown crust. That is perfection right there. All right, guys, that's all there is to it. It's one of the easiest pies you can make, and if your family loves pecan pie, this would be the recipe to try. Make sure you get those roasted and salted pecans. That makes all the difference. This recipe and all my other recipes can be found on my website, inthekitchenwithtabbi.com. There will be a link to the recipe on Facebook. It will be on our group page, Cooking With In the Kitchen with Tabbi. If you're not a member over there, request to join. It's free and easy, and all of the recipe links are there. If you're watching on Instagram or YouTube, there will be a link in the comments, and on YouTube, you know it's going to be in the full description also. This pecan pie recipe is also in my cookbook, Pure and Sweet Recipes. It's on page 44. It is the Southern Pecan Pie, and like I said earlier, it is from my mother-in-law's recipes, so you know it's good. It's an old recipe, and it is really good. All right, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've had an amazing day, and I hope it gets better and better every minute that goes by. Thank you so much for coming into the kitchen with me and hanging out and making a pecan pie with me. I'm gonna be off making some more fudge now and getting our chili started for tomorrow. All right, guys, listen, remember, I love you very much, but God loves you even more than I do. And don't forget, He's the unseen guest at every dinner table, the silent listener at every conversation. So just make sure those words are pure and sweet like honey, that you're lifting each other up and loving on each other and shining your light bright, because that's what we're called to do. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. All right, friends, let's get this Southern Pecan. Okay, third take, here we go.